Hello and welcome to Herald TV News Bulletin with me, Sullivan. The Narendra Modi BJP government came to power at the centre in 2019. On the 1st of February 2023, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will present the last full budget of their tenure. What are the budget expectations of the industry in Goa of the Union Budget 2023-24? Are there any expectations for the salaried class? Will it be a populist budget? Listen to industry leaders.
Current budget would be the last budget before the general elections would start, and therefore this typically is called a populist budget or of such nature. We have seen for the last year there has been a huge increase in inflation, and the common man has found that the money at his disposal is comparatively lesser because a lot of the essentials have become very costly. So I would feel that the government should increase the standard deduction for the salaried people and also increase the income tax slabs, which have remained constant for quite long time. Once this is done, there will be more money left in the hands of the public, and therefore they will be able to spend. Similarly, I feel that government should encourage capital expenditure because there is a huge need for creating jobs, and it is capital expenditure like roads, bridges, ports. This is the kind of expenditure which will actually spur the employment. So both sides, in giving more money to the common person and creating employment, these are the expectations which I have from the budget. Of course, I also feel that there should not be any undue changes or tinkering in other taxes. See, if we look at the industry in Goa, we are having mining, we are having tourism, and we are having manufacturing industry, particularly pharma industry. So as far as the mining is concerned, one of the problems that Goa is facing is that its iron ore is comparatively lesser, less than 58 things. So we feel that the export duties and such other things should not be there on such kind of iron ore, and Goa should be able to export its iron ore freely. So that's the one budget expectation that we have from the budget. The second thing is that as far as the manufacturing pharma is concerned, there should be PLI schemes, that is production linked incentive schemes. We should encourage the manufacturing of the pharma. And lastly, as far as the tourism industry is concerned, I feel there should be more incentives given for this tourism industry, specifically for hotels and such other kind of activities. Of course, there is much less which can be done from the direct tax than from indirect tax.
We expect the government to be a little bit people friendly, or which is a middle class friendly budget, wherein there is a more money given in the public's hand, so that will help circular economy, and definitely it will help tourism. So one of the way it can be done is by reducing the income tax rate and giving more benefits to the overall public in general, which excess cash will help in their spending capacity of the individual. Not only that, it will, whenever anybody has excess money, they think of tourism, and it can help the overall tourism industry as a whole. Secondly, as far as the Goa is concerned, we look at, there should be some allocations wherein emphasis is given on the completion of the infrastructure projects which are still pending. Like we have Zuwali Bridge, which is halfway, still one half is yet to complete. Then we have mini convention center, which is going on. It was supposed to complete by March, but I think there is no sign of the completion. That is opposite Pariyatan Bhavan. Besides that, the overall there are small tourism projects which are there. I think this should be completed on priority with the help of the center.
If you see the background of this budget, there are geopolitical tensions. The supply chains have got disrupted, and the recovery from the pandemic is almost complete. Given this, and since this is going to be the last full budget, I think the focus of this budget should be on capital expenditure, on increasing our expenditure on infrastructure and focusing on growth.
Okay. And do you have any expectation from the budget for industry in Goa?
Yeah, so industry, I believe, will require 2 or 3 matters. One is a kind of easy credit. I think the emergency credit line schemes which had come during COVID have been really helpful for the industry, and something along those lines, if that can come into the budget, I think that will be something which will be appreciated by the industry. Secondly, would be an extension of the PLI schemes there has been a lot of expectations for manufacturing, and manufacturing right now is at 15% of the GDP, and the government is trying to increase this percentage. So I think extension and widening the scope of the PLIs and also including many schemes for MSMEs also will really help. As far as taxation for the industry is concerned, I think the taxation rates for partnership and LLPs require a revamp because they are almost at a very high percentage of 30. And for the other MSMEs which are on a kind of a personal taxation front, I think where the slabs could be raised, where the lowest slab could go to 5 lakhs and the highest slab could be increased to 20.
Prasad Polji for Herald TV.
Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman tabled the Economic Survey 2022-23 in the Rajya Sabha Economic Survey 2022-2023, which projected a baseline GDP growth of 6.5% in real terms in the financial year 2024. The economy is expected to grow at 7% in real terms for the year ending March 2023. This follows an 8% growth in the previous financial year, says the Government of India. The Union Budget will be presented on Wednesday, February the 1st, 2023. The Economic Survey is prepared by the Department of Economic Affairs under the guidance of Chief Economic Advisor V. Anantha Nageswaran.
Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman tabled the Economic Survey 2022-23 in Rajya Sabha on Tuesday. The major highlights of the Economic Survey are as below. The Economic Survey projected India's economic growth at 6 to 6.8% for the next fiscal year starting April 1st, 2023, while the country's economy is expected to grow at around 7% in the ongoing financial year. It says the Indian economy is recovering from the pandemic-induced contraction, Russian-Ukrainian conflict and inflation, and is staging a broad-based recovery across sectors, positioning to ascend to the pre-pandemic growth path in financial year 2023. Retail inflation is back within RBI's target range in November 2022. Direct tax collection from the period April-November 2022 remains buoyant. The Economic Survey sees enhanced employment generation in the declining urban unemployment rate and in the faster net registration in Employee Provident Fund. Social sector expenditure, centre and state combined, increases to 21.3 lakh crore rupees in FY23 budget estimates from 9.1 lakh crore rupees in FY16. Central and state government budgeted expenditure on health sector touched 2.1% of GDP in FY 2023 budget estimates and 2.2% in FY 22 revised estimates against 1.6% in financial year 21. More than 220 crore COVID vaccine doses were administered. The survey highlights the findings of the 2022 report of the UNDP on Multidimensional Poverty Index, which says that 41.5 crore people exited poverty in India between 2005-06 and 2019-20. Bureau Report, Herald TV.
On Tuesday afternoon, one person, Manish Kumar Kawat, was grievously injured after he was hit by a speeding train at Shantinagar in Vasco. Kawat is a resident of Madhya Pradesh and is presently working in the housekeeping department at Goa's Daboli airport.
स्टाफ एअरपोर्टाचो मनीष कुमार केवट म्हणून हाऊसकीपिंग काम करता. तेज्या हांगा एक्सिडेंट जाला पट्रेचेर, दोनूय पाय गेला तेजे, एक वर मायज जाले. तो हांगा हे जाता आसा, एम्बुलन्सा फोन मारल्या एम्बुलन्स हे अवेलेबल ना म्हणटा, पुलिसाक फोन मारले पुलिसाची काय हे ना. एक वर मायज जालो तो आतां फडफडपा लागला.
केवट एमपी के रहने वाले हैं, सीधी जिला का.
काम किधर करते हैं?
काम एयरपोर्ट में काम करते हैं एयरपोर्ट में हाउस कीपिंग का. और 1 घंटा हो गया कट के उसको, हम लोग को मालूम नहीं था, इधर पड़ा था वो, बाद मालूम पड़ा था, हम लोग आया कॉल किया यहाँ पे, सब कॉल किया, उधर एम्बुलेंस किया, पुलिस भी नहीं यहाँ पे इंक्वायरी किए, अकेला इधर मर रहा है वो.
कितना टाइम अभी?
1 घंटे से ज़्यादा, 1 घंटे से ऊपर हो रहा है सर.
कुछ नहीं हुआ?
कुछ नहीं हुआ,
कोई नहीं आया?
कोई देखने वाला नहीं है.
Kiran Borkar for Herald TV.
Mapsa police have arrested 2 persons in connection with the cylinder blast that took place on January 22nd. According to the SDPO Mapsa Jivba Dalvi, a cylinder blast took place on 22nd January at 5 a.m. at an eatery named Hilltop Bar and Restaurant located at Breeze Apartments, Dangi Colony, Mapsa. Luckily, no one was injured in the incident.
Mapsa police arrested 2 persons in connection with the cylinder blast that took place on January 22nd. Upon the incident, police and fire services swung into action and visited the spot. After conducting a detailed inquiry, fire services informed that the incident occurred due to the use of a damaged hosepipe of the cylinder, which may have encountered some ignition or spark. Police, after due investigation, all rumors of foul play have been ruled out. Based on the report of the fire department, the police immediately registered an FIR under sections 336, 285, 427, read with 34 of the IPC. Mapsa PI Paresh Naik has arrested both the owners immediately. Police have already written to the excise department to cancel the excise license and to the municipality to revoke the trade license. Further investigation is in progress under the supervision of SDPO Mapsa Jipa Talvi and SP North Nitin Walson. Prakash Kadekar and Clinton D'Souza for Herald TV.
Remedios Krasto, the veteran fisherman from Asolna, recently won a state award for his contribution to the fishing sector. However, he is in no mood to celebrate or rest on his laurels as he believes there is still so much more to do to help the traditional fishing community. Krasto has also appealed to the government departments concerned for assistance to the traditional fishing community, such as permission for small motors and subsidies. He has also demanded that fishermen from each village ask their respective panchayats to declare their areas as fishing villages and identify fishing activity in order to help protect their rights in the future.
Selfish purpose only. ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಪೊಲಾಕಳೆ ಹಾಟ್ಲೆ ಗೊಚ್ಚುಕಳೆ ಕೊಂಡೋಯ್ ಮುಟ್ಟಿ ಪಡಾಲಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅಸಲ್ನ ಬ್ರಿಡ್ಜ್ ಕಳೆ ಹೋಯ್ಲಾಗಿನ ಕೊಂಡೋಯ್ पडाली असलना ಕೊಂಡೋಯ್ पडाली ती ಕೊಂಡೋಯ್ कंप्लीटली उल झाली कंप्लीट मग सांगता काबा झाले तर आमकां दिसून येता की स्वेज पड सुटाई की आमकां सांग माल पडलो आनी आम दोळ्यान वचोन चोयल्या ते फॉला हा ते फॉलाक ती मातशें मुखारी तर ती स्वेज उदकां व्हांवता ती पास जायना हो एक मेन सांग इशू तेजो पायप फुटलें तितूंतल्यान ती पास जाता सेकंड थिंग फ्रांस हाम हाय फ्रांस करपा हामा ती फार्मां आमकां सांग डिस्टर्बन्स आमकां बारक्या मनशांक एक मनशाक ग्रेस कोता गव्हर्मेंट आनी समोर लोकां माता ते फ्रांसाचें उदक सोड मुट्टी हिंगा फुबली मुट्टी पडटा तें उदक सोड मुट्टी ती कुसोता कुसोन काबार जाता आनी फाटीं एक स म्हयने पयलें अनोको तें कितें हाडून सोडलें तें उदकां काळ म्हणटा तें काळू काळ म्हळ्यार तें न्हू दिसती कोणाय काळा दिसता सारकें काबार जालें सारकें काबार आनी थर्ड हांव एक सिनन म्हाका खबर आहा हांव एक मागणी कोता फिशींग वर्ड म्हणटा आनी फिशींग विलेज म्हणटा गव्हर्मेंटाक एक हें आहा पॉलिसी आहा ते पंचायतीन रेजल्युशन घेवन आपणाय वाड फिशींग वर्ड घाचे फिशींग विलेज घाचे आनी गव्हर्मेंट बेनिफीट हांवें ती घेची तेमगे म्हाका स्वता सालसटी एकूच आसोलना पंचायत फिशींग विलेज मा फिशींग वर्ड मा बाकी सालसटी हुची ना आनी एक कुला सो हांव मागोता आमगे फिशरमॅना कडेन बेनावलीन कोलवा हाय तेमी पंचायत एक रेजल्युशन घेवचें आनी फिशींग वर्ड म्हणटा दाखोवचें आनी फिशरमॅनान नांव दवरचें लॉसपा जायना आपण हारया मग जोटींग हारया न्हू जोट्याक भरपूर हारी समजा काय पूण आपण हारी म्हणटा तें दाखोवपा जाय लोकांक.
Aditya Bidre for Herald TV.
A 2-year-old had a miraculous escape as a retaining wall of the Dhavli-Farmagudi National Highway collapsed in front of Shashikant Kavlekar's house late on Monday evening. The 3-meter-long concrete portion of the retaining wall collapsed due to the vibration caused due to the traffic passing on the national highway. The other portion of support also does not have bonding or steel rods. Locals expressed concern over substandard work of the 100-meter-long wall posing a risk to locals.
रिटर्निंग वॉल पडली ती हांगासर हांगा दाग म्हणटा आमी आनी वार्ड नंबर 6 दाग कपलेश्वरी खरें म्हणजे देवाची गोश्ट अशी म्हणटा कित्याक तेंचे भांग काल ते जाल्यार वचना गेल्यार फाटल्यान देवाची उपकार ते भुरगे बचावले म्हाका दिसता की आतां ती पडली दुसरी आसा ती पडपा शक्यता आसा पूण आमी एक नॅशनल हायवे मॅटर करतली कित्याक व्हडल्यो व्हडल्यो गाडयो वता त्या गाडयांचे आनी त्या खातीर पडला असं
व्हायब्रेशन होतं
व्हायब्रेशन जाऊन पडला असेल कित्याक पूण खरो म्हणटा गाड्या लागून आधार असो केलो की गाडी पडची न्ही म्हणून पूण सद्या ती ह्याच कोसळ्या
सपोर्टच ना
ताका कांयच बाकी सपोर्टूच ताका कांय ना ती कोसळ्या हांगसर एक देवाचें हें बरें की हें कुटूंब जें आसा तें सुखरूप उरलें तेन्ना म्हाजें हें आसा की हांगसर
हांगा हे काडून आतां रेलिंग बीन घालपा गरज आसा
आसा अशें आसा ती कित्याक
ताका support ना
कित्याक तेंचो तो आमचो भाव आसा तो हांगासर काम करता तेज्या दिसभराचें काम हांगाच आसा चडशें आनी
पयलू घर आशिल्लें हांगा
पयलींच्यान आहा तुमी
हय तशें आनी मागीर आमी साठणी करताले मातशें मातशें आनी आतां ती हायवे जाली आनी सगळें वायब्रिंग
हायवे जाल्यार कितलो तेंप जालो
हायवे जाल्यार जातलें 20 वर्स आनी आमचें सगळें घर वायब्रिंग जावन गेलां हायवेक लागून
घराक व्हायब्रेशन जाता तुमगेल्या घराकूय जाता
घरान जाता मातशें मोटे मोटे ट्रक बी आयले जाल्यार जाता
सरकारा कडेन कितें मागणी तुमची काय म्हणून नॅशनल हायवे कडेन
नॅशनल हायवे तशें जाता आनी आवाजाचेर आनी हें वायब्रिंग जावन गेलें आनी
हांगा रेलिंग कितें नवीन बीन घालपा गरज आसता तुमकां
हय बांय बी आसा आमच्या सामकें पळोवन तें समजना फुडें कितें जातलें अशें तांचें करात
Bureau Report, Herald TV.
The Town and Country Planning Minister Vishwajit Rane conducted an inspection of the alleged illegal hill cutting at Kadamba Plateau. Massive hill cutting has been reported beside the Kadamba Road Ribandar, reportedly for a housing project. The destruction of trees and removal of mud is happening just behind the V2 Mall near the Mercedes showroom.
Town and Country Planning Minister Vishwajit Rane conducted an inspection of the alleged illegal hill cutting at Kadamba Plateau. Vishwajit said the developers violated all the guidelines which authorities have given to them. We will issue them a show cause notice and also stop work notice, and all permissions will be revoked, Vishwajit added. Massive hill cutting has been reported beside Kadamba Road at Ribandar, reportedly for a housing project. The destruction of trees and removing of mud is happening just behind the V2 Mall near Mercedes showroom. The hill cutting will have serious repercussions on the villagers and their houses, which are located at the bottom of the Ribandar hill. Shagun Gaude for Herald TV.
The North Goa District Demolition Squad demolished a beachside restaurant at Kalangut located next to the popular Sousa Lobo restaurant on Monday. It was demolished for having been illegally constructed in the no development zone by flouting CRZ rules, according to Kalangut Sarpanch Joseph Sequeira. The demolition was carried out in the presence of officials from the Block Development Office, MAPSA, Public Work Department, Electricity Department and a large number of policemen.
An illegal beachside restaurant in the no development zone was demolished in Kalangut. It was demolished for having been illegally constructed in the no development zone by flouting CRZ rules, according to Kalangut Sarpanch Joseph Sequeira. The Kalangut Village Panchayat had initiated the action against the place owned by Rajiv Arora, as it was found to be constructed in the no development zone on the beach, Sequeira said. Most of the construction in the property bearing house number 5/154 in survey number 176/16B, measuring 134 square meters, was demolished by afternoon. The Panchayat action against the illegal construction had been initiated following complaints from stakeholders some years ago, as it was done in the no development zone. It may be recalled that the owner of the demolished restaurant and the owner of the popular Sousa Lobo restaurant had been engaged in a long-running dispute in the past. A part of Sousa Lobo restaurant had been vandalized allegedly by goons engaged by the owner of the neighboring property. Last year, a demolition team had been sent to demolish some allegedly illegal construction by the Sousa Lobo owners, but had to return without doing any demolition after they could not produce any documents. The Sousa Lobo restaurant owner had claimed that the owner of the neighboring property, Rajiv Arora, had orchestrated the demolition attempt. The owners of Sousa Lobo had claimed that this was being done to pressurize them to sell their prime beachside property. The Sousa Lobo owner had also alleged that some politicians were shielding the owner of the demolished restaurant. Prakash Karekar for Herald TV.
The state government awarded the Chief Minister's Bravery Award 2022 to late Danson D'Souza posthumously on Republic Day for saving human life in recognition of exemplary courage and bravery displayed by him while saving a woman who was trapped inside a burning hut. 38-year-old Danson, a resident of Anjuna, was killed while trying to rescue a tea stall owner, Reshma Uskaikar, in a major fire on October 23, 2022. The LPG cylinder exploded, injuring him seriously, leading to his death. The tragedy took place on the day of Lakshmi Pujan.
डेन्सन डिसोजा म्हाजो चेडो तो सदांच दुसऱ्या पासत वावुरतालो आनी सदांच ताका जाय आसलें दुसऱ्या पासत आपणें कितेंय केलेलें आनी हांव गव्हर्मेंटाक काळजांतल्यान देव बरें करूं म्हणटा तेणी आमकां जायतो आदार दिलो डेन्सनाच्या मरणा उपरांत.
कसो आसलो डेन्सन आतां पयलीं पासून कसो आसलो?
पयलो पासून तो सदांच मस्त एके वाटेन पयलो आनी सदांच आमकां आमची फिकीर आसली तेका पांय मायची सदांच आनी आपल्या भयणीची एक बरो भुरगो तो म्हाजो चेडो.
कोणूय इस्कॉलान गरीब आपणा कडेन जायना म्हटलें बुकार तेका त्रास जायना. मामी येवन सांगतालो की मामी पयशे कडेन बूक हाडूंक पयशे ना, मोचे घेवंक पयशे ना, हें सगळें सांगून तो तांकां व्हरून दितालो. जालें कितें करता आमचो एकलोच पूत तो आमकां आनीक आदार ना. आमचे पांय मागीर मोडले हांव सगळें चलोंक जायना. हांव देव बरें करूंक म्हणटा गव्हर्मेंटाक ताका तेणें हेल्प केलो आमकां.
हांव सदांच घरान तसो भायर शेजाऱ्याक बसून सदांच आदार दिवपी आनी ताका दुसऱ्याचो हुस्को आसलो. तो हें सगळें घडलें तितून आमकां खूब दूख जाल्या बट तो थिंगा गेलोलो एक आदार कहो जावं कहो तांकां बट कितें घडलें तें खूब काळजाक लागलें. खूब चड त्रास जावन जावं उतरां हें जायना की कसले त्रास सोसून तो गेलो. एका झगडण्या परी तेजें मरण जालें.
प्रकाश करेकर for Herald TV.
A half-loaded barge sank in the outer anchorage of the Mormuga Port Authority on Monday evening. The barge, titled Rio Martina III, with 8 crew members on board, faced issues due to strong winds and rough seas. All crew members were saved by crew from another barge in the vicinity. However, cargo inside the half-loaded barge has sunk into the sea.
Rio Martina III, the barge loaded with cargo, sunk in the sea on the outer anchorage of the Mormuga Port Authority. The barge had 8 crew members on board and was being loaded with cargo from a ship, but faced issues due to strong winds. The incident occurred when the half-loaded barge was moving away from the ship in the rough sea when a huge wave hit the barge from behind and water entered the cabin. Another huge wave hit the barge and the water entered the engine room, even as the barge was facing issues due to strong winds and heavy currents. All the crew members were saved by crew from another barge in the vicinity. However, cargo inside the half-loaded barge had sunk in the sea, as per sources who also informed that the crew members on board were saved by barges in the vicinity. Kiran Borkar for Herald TV.
That's all we have in today's news bulletin. Thank you for watching Herald TV News. For more news alerts, please follow us on O Heraldo on Facebook and Twitter. Take care and goodbye.